fun game last night in Miami. Japan beats USA 3-1. Ohtani with the final out in a fascinating matchup. Mike Trout against Shohei Ohtani, two teammates, two of the best players in baseball. And Shohei Ohtani with the 3-2 slider gets Mike Trout out, but Mike Trout never looked comfortable in the at-bat. As we say, good morning, everybody out there. Drive safely. A big rig flipped over on the Bay Bridge yesterday. Traffic jams galore. A lot of people couldn't get out the city. It's just nasty, nasty weather. Please drive safe. Take your time. Look both ways. You know, if the blinking red light is on, just stop. Treat it like a stop sign, please. Got to learn how to drive. Basic rules, common sense. So good morning, everybody out there getting off their graveyard shift. Spadoni, Lubman, to you, Joe Shasky. A lot of fun last night down in Miami. World Baseball Classic, a smashing success.
Yeah, I think so, too. You know, I had a really good time watching. I thought it was a great celebration of the game. And, I mean, just to see those guys put on that show on that stage. In Japan, I really enjoy their approach to the game. Like, they have their own little nuances, a lot of high leg kick at bats, a lot of pauses in the pitching deliveries, and they just play the game in a fundamental. I appreciate the way they play the game. Does that make sense? Like,
they play their game the right way.
But it reminds me a lot of the game that we kind of grew up in. Like, you're not going to see as many strikeouts from their team. They want to put the ball in play. Some guys are hitting for power. 55 was just an absolute monster. They didn't lose a game.
Yeah, went undefeated.
I mean, unbelievable pitching, and you could tell that it really, truly matters to them. Not that it didn't matter to the other countries, but I just thought it was such a deserving champion.
No, they were good, man. Pitching, hitting, situational pitching. The U.S. could never get on balance there. Runners are scoring position. I mean, even in the ninth inning, Mookie Betts hitting into the double play when Jeff McNeil draws a walk on a questionable 3-2 pitch. I would have gave it a strike, but, you know.
Feel me? Swing the bat, Dougie.
I mean, he got the walk. Bobby Witt Jr. pitch runs for him. I thought they'd send him on the first two pitches. They didn't. Then Mookie Betts hits the double play, which set up, of course, Mike Trout striking out the end of the game. But it was a lot of fun, and I'm eager and I'm anxious to see how Major League Baseball captures this momentum from the World Baseball Classic and parlays it into the regular season. Now, I wish opening day was later this week or maybe early next week, but we've got about what? 10 days until opening, 8 days until opening
next
day.
Thursday, the Giants face the Yankees, I believe 11:30 on our time.
So we'll see if we can capture this, but there's no doubt the best player in the world right now is Shohei Ohtani.
Right?
It's not even close.
Right?
Not even close. His speech before the game saying, "Hey,
incredible.
We need to surpass the U.S. in baseball. We're the top dogs."
Yes.
Basically is what he said. To paraphrase what he said before the game. Seeing him walk out with the flag.
Yeah.
Looking at Mike Trout on the other side saying, okay. And then seeing his emotion, the emotion that he had on the mound in the batter's box. This guy's a stud. This guy's an absolute beast. And this guy's going to get paid very, very handsomely in the offseason.
I think when he first came in, I kind of underrated his size and speed. Like, that's something we do in the other sports. Like, oh, look at the size and speed.
Yeah.
Like, that's why I'm a huge A-Rod fan. To be that big and that strong in that game and that agile is very unique, right? Cal Ripken was like the first shortstop that was that size, speed, and could run and whatnot. And A-Rod took it to another level.
Can I say something, though? I saw A-Rod at the game.
You didn't think he was that
short?
Big?
Yeah.
Well, he is older. He's almost 50.
Old, but I was just like, I looked at him. I was like, I thought he'd be a lot bigger.
Well, he's 6'3".
He seemed like he was 6'1".
Really?
I'm 6'4". He seemed short.
Really?
Maybe 6'2". I don't know.
That was the thing I was going to say, is that when I saw Shohei alongside Alex Rodriguez, you realize how big Shohei is what I was getting at. Like, because to me, every time I've seen A-Rod next to other baseball players, he looks much bigger. You know what I mean? Like, he's a big dude. And so when I saw him next to Shohei, I'm like, oh, my God. Like, Shohei is a freak athlete. You see how fast he runs?
Oh, yeah, he's fast. He's got it all. He's got it all. By the way, Murakami, 56 home runs last year in Japan.
Yeah, he's a monster.
That guy's going to be another star.
Yeah.
They got some loaded talent. But Shohei is fast. He's got all the tools. He's got the fastball that's going 100 miles an hour. He's got the nasty slider.
I mean,
he's got the
3-foot break on a slider.
Dude, he's got the great plate discipline. I mean, he walks. You can get him to strike out here and there, but he'll hit 500 feet. He's got all the deal. Now, I'm not going to go crazy say he's the greatest player of all time. Like, that's stupid. I'm sorry, folks. He's played a couple years in Major League Baseball. He has all the tools to become the greatest player of all time. But that'd be disrespectful to Willie Mays. That'd be disrespectful to Babe Ruth. Barry Bonds. Let's just pump the brakes a little bit on the GOAT talk.
That was kind of the thing that I was talking with. I love the game, and like even if I put Willie Mays to the side, because there's a feeling around these parts about Willie Mays where he can be he'll never be unseated from his spot, which I totally agree with, right? But like Stan Musial, he was great for 24 years. Not good, great for 24 years. Verlander has been great for 20 years. Roger Clemens was great with PEDs, but Roger Clemens was great for 20 years. You know what I mean? Like
Greg Maddux had a decade.
More than that, he had 350 wins. You know what I mean? Like, so I look at like the great Hank Aaron, 23-time All-Star, was great for 23 straight years. Now, what Shohei's doing is unprecedented. We don't know how long it's going to last, but we have to take a step back here. Like, even Mike Trout, because people do this with Mike Trout. He's the greatest player since, Willie Mays. And it's like, dude, Ken Griffey Jr. had one of the greatest 12-year runs the game has ever seen. And yes, he got hurt. And you know how many people would trade his Cincinnati years, which weren't even close to his Seattle years? They would trade their entire career for his Cincinnati years. So I do think at times we fall victim to preordaining certain individuals. I don't like that.
Just enjoy him while he's here. And once the career is over, if you want to say he's the greatest, fine. I'm cool with that.
But you got to put together
enjoy
10.
the moment.
Can we start with 10?
Yeah,
like, even
enjoy
Ichiro.
the moment.
Bonte, he had two separate, a Japanese Hall of Fame career
and a Major League Baseball Hall of Fame career.
He had 200 straight hits for 12 straight seasons.
No, Ichiro was all-time great. All-time great. So let's pump the brakes there. But we can still celebrate last night. What we saw with Shohei Ohtani and Mike Trout. Spinoni came up with something. He brought us something in the thread. He's saying, this is such an anticipated matchup, Shohei versus Trout. What are some of the matchups we never got to see? And he threw LeBron versus Kobe in there right away.
That's a great one.
I think that's like ding, ding, ding.
That's a great
number one. I start thinking
about
football.
LeBron, Michael.
Yeah, but obviously Michael was retired. But guys who are playing, overlapping careers, like Joe Montana got to play against Dan Marino in the Super Bowl and John Elway.
Yeah.
All-time greats. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
John Elway played against Brett Favre.
Kicked their ass.
John Elway played against Brett Favre.
Yeah.
We had
that's a good call.
But Jordan against, who would it be? Jordan against Magic. We got that. We got that in 91.
We
got that. But, we was able to see it. We never got Kobe and LeBron. And so it had me thinking last night. It's like, man, what are some of the matchups we've never seen? We saw Kevin Durant against LeBron. We've seen Steph versus LeBron. Saw LeBron against Dirk, but I don't know if that had the cachet.
Against Duncan in them?
Yeah. Didn't have quite the cachet, but.
No. I know
it'd be like LeBron versus Giannis. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
People would want to see that.
Yes,
or
I
KD versus Giannis in the finals, although we saw that in the Eastern Conference semifinals. Yeah, that would be fascinating.
Giannis would be incredible. I mean, you brought up obviously Magic and Bird. Like that's one of the greatest, combos of all time. Wow, these are some good ones. Like I always wanted to see the Giants face the Yankees in the World Series, just because we could see Roger Clemens versus Bonds in the World Series. We never got that. Right now, man, there's just some great questions.
Like we were able to see Brady versus Mahomes in the Super Bowl.
I always wanted to see Brady versus Rodgers, and before he went to the NFC, but at least we got it in an NFC Championship game.
And I think that's fascinating.
Well, but I also think that's a huge knock on Aaron Rodgers' career. When I look back on it, like we all knew you had to go for it in that fourth down situation, because if you gave the ball back to Brady, you were losing.
And he let Matt LaFleur decide to kick a field goal, and you get called for pass interference on third down, and the rest is history. But at least we saw it at a high level, game, like, ooh, Brady Rodgers should go to the Super Bowl. And Brady Mahomes that same year.
We also got Brady versus Peyton Manning a few times in the playoffs. A few times
in the AFC Championship.
Even though they're not, quote-unquote, going up against each other, we absolutely got that. Like, I don't even know what the baseball one would be right now. It would be probably Trout versus Ohtani, but they're teammates.
Ohtani versus Harper?
That's a good one. That's a really good one. That's a really good one, actually.
Verlander versus Trout, you brought up, or Scherzer versus Trout.
Ohtani v. Judge.
Ohtani v. Judge is a good one.
Yeah, that's the one right there. That's the one right there.
That's a really good one.
So you got a few there, but to see Shohei in that situation, because everybody said, man, how cool would it be to see Shohei versus Trout? Shohei versus Trout. Then you see Shohei warming up in the bullpen, and you're like, oh, this is lining up. And as you know, Trout's batting third. It would have been fun to see some runners on base, but Mookie Betts hits the double play, and Trout just looked overmatched. He looked overmatched in that at-bat. I've never seen Trout look that overmatched in that at-bat.
When you blow 100 plus and you're throwing it right down the pipe, and you're basically saying, I dare you. And then the guy is late swinging, and you have the brass, you-know-whats, to go slider that breaks 2.5 feet on a 3-2 count. I mean, come on, man. We're watching the dude on another level.
Right.
He's an absolute beast. And that matchup was unreal.
Right.
And to see them do it at that moment with the game on the line, I mean, that's the stuff that you dream of in your backyard. You know what I mean? Like, oh, it's the game 7 of the finals, shooting a 3. It's the fourth quarter, a minute to go in the Super Bowl, going for the drive. That was 3-2 count in the final championship game. You're down 1 run, the best hitter of the era, essentially, against one of the most dominant forces across sports. That was incredible.
It's pretty funny. Dante Wiley, Judge versus Farhad Zaidi.
The laugh in the background. We have to get the audio from just the studio for the laughs.
Oh, my gosh. I mean, that's pretty funny because I was thinking last night, look, whatever team comes in for Shohei Ohtani, you better start at $75 million per. I'm dead serious. And we're going to get George Consols in at 8 o'clock. He quote-tweeted me kind of saying, are you high? No, I wasn't high last night. I'm just watching the best player in baseball basically be 2 players in one. The guy could be your closer and your power hitter.
Since when do people want to start? This is the thing I don't understand with sports fans. We love to penny pinch on one end and then scream that the owner is cheap on the other end.
Oh, the best is my boy Harry Bearson. You're not. Are you signing the checks? Well, it's not your decision. Harry, I love you. I really do.
Wait, what do you mean? What does he mean by that?
What does he mean by that? It's basically like, hey, it's really not your call whether or not they're going to spend $75 million. Yeah, duh. No doubt. No doubt. I mean, it's Captain Obvious, Harry. I mean, it honestly kind of ticked me off coming from him. Let me get the exact tweet.
Why? But why?
Because I don't know why fans do this.
Yeah.
I don't know why we want to owner to spend. Like Joe Lacob, for example.
This is my point.
Joe Lacob spending money left and right. Luxury tax, everything. And yet you guys want to crush him. Okay, maybe he didn't spend the money wisely, but damn it, he's spending money.
Yeah, you can't
Do
call
you
him
want
cheap.
the other guy on the other side of the bay, John Fisher, who doesn't spend a dime? Exactly. You want to be on that side of things?
No,
Come on.
I think you're hitting on something that really is it's a nerve for me, because when I hear people say Joe Lacob is cheap, I go, you don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
That's what I say to them.
You sound ignorant.
They're literally spending the same amount the Giants spend on their payroll, they spend on the tax.
Yeah, you sound ignorant.
On the tax to keep this team together. Okay? Now, you could argue about, they should have signed GP2 instead of having to trade for him midseason. Fine. We could argue about allocation of funds. But to say he's cheap is factually incorrect. Simultaneously, what would you rather have right now? We're getting ourselves excited. And I was listening, to some of my buddies. They were talking about, I can't get up for Conforto and for Mitch Haniger and all these guys. And you look at the payroll and you're like, God, $170 million for the Giants payroll this year. If I told you take away 4 of those guys, but put $75 million towards Shohei Ohtani, don't you care whether they're even good or not? Don't you care about the team infinitely more?
I'm jacked up about the Giants. It's hard for me to get. I'm geek for baseball, but when it comes to the Giants, Michael Conforto.
He is a good player.
I had him in fantasy
healthy.
5. Yeah, when healthy.
I know it's a big caveat.
Mitch Haniger, when healthy.
Yeah, and now he's not.
Brandon Crawford.
Well, he's going to be battling the knee injury all year.
All year long.
I heard someone, who was the doctor yesterday that was on with Willard and Dibbs?
Dr. Brian Feely.
Okay, so Dr. Brian Feely was saying...
Feely.
What?
No, go ahead.
Oh, no, but he was saying that, this knee injury is going to be something that he's going to have to, basically ride with all year. That's not good.
No, it's not good.
And they don't have a backup shortstop.
So Harry, my guy Harry, I love you, Harry, but he goes, are you writing the checks these days? I don't disagree with you, but easy for us to say. No, it's easy for the Giants to say, Shohei, here's a blank check. Here you go. What can we do to get you in the park?
What do you think?
Because you know why? I think people underrate this market in terms of star power.
Oh, I totally agree with you.
This is a star-driven market.
When the Niners sucked, no one went. When they didn't have players, no one went.
When the Giants suck, nobody goes.
Nope.
When the Warriors go, we all sell the tickets, and the other fans go.
The first year in Chase Center, Bonte, Steph Curry hurts himself. It was the first year. You could walk up and get tickets from God knows who.
Oh, you know what was so great about that year?
Huh?
Even the Warriors was giving 95-7 gave suites. Hey, here's a suite for the Orlando Magic game.
But here's the other part.
Hey, seriously, because nobody wanted to come.
But and also Dude, look around baseball. If you don't, the Mets, Yankees, Dodgers, and Padres will.
Yep. And the Angels. They're not good. They'll spin.
Oh, there'll be other teams.
And there will be Texas.
Yes.
Texas just gave Simeon and Seager
I know.
over 100. Seager got $300 million.
Yeah.
And what did Simeon get? 150?
Oh, well, they spent close to $500 something million on their infield, basically.
Right. So,
and then don't forget DeGrom this year.
No doubt.